As a neurologist specializing in senior brain health, Dr. Samuel Reed has a heartfelt plea for older adults. Please stop eating this particular fruit after 6 p.m. Your heart and brain may depend on it. You can't see it, you can't feel it, but inside your arteries right this very moment, an invisible chain reaction may already be unfolding, set in motion by something you believed was a healthy choice earlier today. According to Dr. Reed, the greatest health risks are not always the ones that announce themselves with obvious symptoms. Instead, they are the silent saboteurs, hidden dangers disguised as wholesome foods, and sometimes that danger comes in the form of a perfectly innocent-looking piece of fruit. For those over 60, the natural sugars, potassium, and enzymes inside certain fruits can behave very differently than they did decades earlier. Today, we're pulling back the curtain and shedding light on the stealth threats hiding in your fruit bowl. Because here's the truth. Once you pass 60, your body operates under a brand new set of biological rules. Your kidneys no longer filter potassium as efficiently. Your pancreas may struggle to handle a sudden surge of sugar. Your blood vessels, no longer as supple as in your youth, can react unpredictably. Combine that with slower circulation, medications common to seniors, and the natural overnight dehydration that occurs as you sleep, and suddenly that healthy fruit can shift from a source of nourishment into a silent health hazard. That's why, in today's discussion, Dr. Reed will guide you as if you were sitting in his private consultation room, walking you step by step through 6 common fruits that could be doing you more harm than good. He'll explain not just which fruits to watch out for, but when to eat them, how much to eat, and why timing matters more than you think. This is not about creating fear of food. It's about replacing fear with clarity and empowering you with the knowledge to make safer choices. And here's the part you must not miss. The final 2 fruits on this list have dangerous interactions with some of the most commonly prescribed medications for seniors, an alarming fact that far too many overlook until it's too late. So as we explore these surprising risks together, share your own habits in the comments. Which of these fruits do you eat regularly? Your experience matters, and it may help someone else avoid a hidden danger. Now, let's begin. Fruit number 1, the overripe banana, a potassium and sugar double punch. Let's begin with one of the world's most adored fruits, the banana. Soft, sweet, portable, and praised for its heart-friendly potassium, it's the poster child for a quick, healthy snack. But for adults over 60, especially when it's overripe, this seemingly innocent fruit can quietly set the stage for a stroke or heart rhythm problem. Here's the critical truth most people overlook. The ripeness of a banana doesn't just change its flavor, it transforms its chemistry. As the peel becomes speckled and the fruit turns sweeter, the complex starches inside break down into simple sugars like glucose and fructose. This sends its glycemic index soaring, meaning that when you eat it, that sugar floods your bloodstream in minutes. For a senior, this sudden sugar surge poses 2 big problems. 1. Reduced insulin sensitivity. As we age, our cells often become less responsive to insulin, making it harder to quickly pull sugar out of the bloodstream. The result? Inflammation spreads through your vascular system, like pouring sticky syrup through fragile pipes. In the brain's delicate arteries, this inflammation weakens the lining, making clot formation far more likely. 2. Potassium overload. A single banana carries a solid dose of potassium. In youth, healthy kidneys filter it out with ease, but aging kidneys work more slowly. Eat 1 or 2 overripe bananas, say blended into a morning smoothie, and your kidneys may not clear the potassium fast enough. This can lead to hyperkalemia, a condition where excess potassium disrupts the electrical rhythm of your heart. Even mild hyperkalemia can trigger dangerous arrhythmias, irregular heartbeats that allow blood to pool in the heart, form clots, and travel to the brain, causing a stroke. Dr. Samuel Reed recalls the case of Evelyn Carter, a 76-year-old retired librarian with a passion for healthy eating. Every morning, she blended 2 very ripe bananas into her smoothie, confident she was giving her body the best. One morning, she woke feeling dizzy, her speech slightly slurred. Tests revealed she'd suffered a mild ischemic stroke. Her blood work showed the culprit, a combination of dangerously high potassium and a blood sugar spike, together creating a perfect storm that disrupted her heart rhythm and inflamed her arteries. The brain-saving fixed bananas don't have to be your enemy. You simply have to treat them with respect. Choose greener bananas. Firm yellow fruit with a touch of green at the stem contains more resistant starch and far less sugar. Watch the portion. Half a banana is enough. Avoid eating 1 or 2 whole bananas in a single sitting. Pair smartly. Never eat bananas on an empty stomach. Combine them with protein or healthy fats like walnuts, almond butter, or a slice of cheese to slow sugar absorption. Mind the clock. Avoid bananas late at night when metabolism and kidney function are naturally slower. By making these small adjustments, you can enjoy bananas without letting them quietly sabotage your heart and brain health. Fruit number 2, grapes, the deceptive sugar bombs. They look so innocent, don't they? Tiny, glossy, and bursting with juice, grapes seem like the perfect light snack. Sweet, refreshing, and so small you can pop them by the handful without a second thought. But for adults over 60, especially the sweeter, seedless varieties, grapes can be one of the most deceptive fruits when it comes to protecting your heart and brain. The danger isn't in one grape, it's in how easily they add up. Each grape is a concentrated little sugar capsule. When you eat them in handfuls, particularly on an empty stomach, you're unleashing a rapid surge of glucose and fructose into your bloodstream. And here's the problem. As we age, our insulin response slows. That sudden sugar rush doesn't just give you a fleeting boost of energy, it triggers a cascade of inflammation inside your blood vessels. Over time, this inflammation quietly damages the delicate lining of your arteries, laying the groundwork for atherosclerosis, the hardening and narrowing of blood vessels. It doesn't stop there. Those sugar molecules can attach themselves to proteins in your blood, a process known as glycation, producing toxic byproducts called advanced glycation end products, AGES. Think of AGEs as microscopic rust, making your artery walls stiff, brittle, and more prone to clot formation. You won't feel it happening. It's silent, steady, and destructive, until one day a single clot is enough to block a crucial artery in your brain. Dr. Samuel Reed recalls the case of Helen Grant, a 79-year-old retired music teacher who adored her mid-morning ritual. A good book, a sunny kitchen window, and a generous bowl of red grapes. She believed she was nourishing her body. One morning, as she wrote a birthday card, her hand began to tremble. Moments later, she couldn't remember how to spell congratulations. She had suffered a transient ischemic attack, TIA, a mini-stroke. Her blood tests told the story, a sudden sugar spike and elevated inflammatory markers, quietly brewing for years. The brain-saving fixed grapes aren't forbidden, but they must be treated more like candy than a limitless health food. Practice strict portion control. A serving is 10 to 12 grapes, not a heaping bowl. Pair for protection. Never eat grapes by themselves. Combine them with protein or healthy fat, almonds, cheese cubes, or plain Greek yogurt to slow sugar absorption. Skip the nighttime snack. Grapes before bed can disrupt your body's overnight repair processes, flooding your system with sugar when it should be healing. Many people think strokes are only linked to fat and cholesterol, but sugar is a powerful, often ignored driver of vascular damage. And you'll want to pay close attention to the next fruit on our list. It contains a natural enzyme that can dangerously interfere with one of the most common medications prescribed to seniors. Fruit number 3, pineapple, the triple threat of enzyme, sugar, and acid. Pineapple, the golden jewel of the tropics. That sweet, tangy burst can transport you to a beachside paradise with every bite. But for adults over 60, this tropical favorite can be far more than a harmless indulgence. In fact, pineapple poses a triple threat that can quietly increase your stroke risk, especially if you take certain medications. Threat 1. The bromelain effect. Pineapple contains a potent enzyme called bromelain, often celebrated for its anti-inflammatory and digestive benefits. But here's what's rarely discussed. Bromelain also affects how your blood clots. It can reduce platelet aggregation, essentially thinning your blood. For younger, healthy individuals, this might not be a concern. But for seniors already on blood thinners such as warfarin, Coumadin, or even a daily aspirin, bromelain can magnify the effects of those drugs. This may push your blood into dangerously thin territory, sharply increasing the risk of a hemorrhagic stroke, a bleeding event in the brain that is often more devastating and harder to recover from than a clot-based stroke. Threat 2. The sugar load. Like grapes and ripe bananas, pineapple is a high-sugar fruit with a high glycemic index. Eating it, especially after dinner, can cause a rapid blood sugar spike that lingers for hours into the night. While your body should be resting and repairing, your blood vessels are instead under inflammatory stress from circulating sugar. Threat 3. The acid factor. Pineapple is also one of the most acidic fruits. For many older adults, the digestive tract becomes more sensitive with age. That post-dinner pineapple can trigger silent acid reflux during the night, often without the classic burning sensation. This reflux can allow microscopic droplets of stomach acid to enter your airway while you sleep, a process known as aspiration. The result can be subtle nighttime oxygen drops, a condition called nocturnal hypoxia, which research has linked to an increased risk of early morning strokes. Dr. Samuel Reed shares the cautionary case of Marion Lewis, a 77-year-old who traded her nightly dessert for a healthier choice: several slices of fresh pineapple after dinner. One morning, she awoke dizzy and unable to walk in a straight line. Brain scans revealed a small stroke that affected her balance and memory. Her doctors found 3 contributing factors: elevated nighttime blood sugar, altered clotting due to her medication, and evidence of nighttime oxygen dips. The one link between all of them? Her nightly pineapple ritual, the brain-saving fix. You don't have to banish pineapple, but you must handle it strategically. Limit the portion. A few small chunks, not thick slices or cups full. Eat it early. Enjoy pineapple earlier in the day, never within 3 to 4 hours of bedtime. Check medication safety. If you take blood thinners, consult your doctor or pharmacist before including pineapple in your diet. This is not optional. Avoid late-night sugar and acid. Keep pineapple out of your evening routine to prevent both sugar spikes and acid reflux while you sleep. Pineapple may feel like a tropical treat, but for the aging body it can quietly set off a dangerous chain reaction, one that's far easier to prevent than to recover from. Fruit number 4. Watermelon, the misleading hydrator. Few fruits say summer like watermelon, cool, crisp, and bursting with juice. With over 90% water, it's the poster child for hydration. But for adults over 60, especially those on certain medications, watermelon's refreshing reputation can be quietly misleading and even dangerous. Here's what most people don't realize. Watermelon is more than just water. It's a potent natural diuretic. Packed with an amino acid called citrulline, your body converts it into arginine, which is then used to produce nitric oxide. While nitric oxide helps relax blood vessels, a good thing for circulation, it also increases blood flow to the kidneys. This ramps up urine production, flushing fluids from your system faster. Now, consider the common scenario for many seniors. They're already prescribed diuretics, water pills, for high blood pressure or heart failure. Pairing those medications with a large serving of watermelon, especially in the evening, can create a double diuretic effect. The result? Significant overnight dehydration. As your body loses fluid while you sleep, your blood volume drops. The less fluid in your bloodstream, the thicker and more viscous it becomes. This sludgy blood increases the risk of clot formation, particularly in the narrower, less flexible arteries of the aging brain and heart. And there's a dangerous twist. Your blood pressure naturally dips to its lowest point during deep sleep. Combine low pressure with thick blood, and you have the perfect conditions for a silent ischemic stroke, the kind that can strike while you're still in bed, unnoticed until morning. Dr. Samuel Reed recalls the case of Walter Briggs, an 82-year-old who swore by his nightly hydration ritual, 2 large slices of watermelon after dinner. One morning, he tried to stand and collapsed. At the hospital, tests revealed he was dehydrated, his blood was abnormally thick, and scans confirmed a small stroke. The culprit? The combination of watermelon's natural diuretic effect and his prescribed medication had drained too much fluid from his system overnight. The brain-saving fix. Eat it early. Enjoy watermelon earlier in the day, when your body can replenish fluids before bedtime. Practice moderation. Avoid oversized portions. A few small wedges are plenty. Check medication compatibility. If you take diuretics, consult your doctor before making watermelon a regular habit. Watch for warning signs: dry mouth, morning dizziness, or feeling off balance when you wake up are signals your hydration levels may be too low. Don't ignore them. Your body is speaking to you. Watermelon may feel like nature's perfect thirst quencher, but for older adults, especially those on water pills, it can quietly create the very dehydration it's meant to prevent. Fruit number 5. Oranges and grapefruit, the medication saboteurs. A glass of fresh orange juice with breakfast. What could be more wholesome? For decades, it's been the picture of a healthy morning. But here's a truth that too many seniors were never told. Certain citrus fruits, especially grapefruit, can quietly turn your trusted medications into dangerous ones, without you even realizing it. The problem isn't just sugar, though a glass of juice can send your blood sugar soaring. The real danger comes from a group of natural compounds called furanocoumarins. Grapefruit is loaded with them, and even certain varieties of oranges, like Seville oranges often used in marmalades, contain them in smaller amounts. Here's why they matter. Furanocoumarins can shut down a key enzyme in your liver and intestines called CYP3A4, your body's main medication processing plant. This enzyme is responsible for breaking down nearly half of all prescription drugs, including common cholesterol-lowering statins like Lipitor and Zocor, blood pressure medications such as Norvasc, certain anti-clotting drugs. When CYP3A4 is blocked, your medications aren't broken down as they should be. Instead, they build up to potentially toxic levels in your bloodstream. That safe, familiar dose you've been taking for years, suddenly it's too strong. Your blood pressure pill could send your pressure plummeting, causing dizziness, dangerous falls, or reduced blood flow to the brain. Your statin could accumulate to the point of causing severe muscle damage. The entire balance of your treatment plan is thrown into chaos, dramatically increasing your risk for both heart attack and stroke. Dr. Samuel Reed recalls Dorothy Hayes, a 74-year-old who never missed her morning ritual, toast with marmalade and a glass of grapefruit juice. She'd been on cholesterol medication for years without issue, until one day she was rushed to the ER with extreme muscle pain and weakness. Lab results showed toxic levels of her statin in her system, all traced back to her daily grapefruit habit, quietly interfering with her medication's breakdown. The brain-saving fix. Avoid grapefruit entirely. If you're on statins, calcium channel blockers, anti-clotting drugs, or any medication your doctor flags as high risk, the danger is simply not worth it. Be mindful of oranges, especially Seville oranges and products made from them. Separate citrus and medication time. Never wash down pills with orange juice. Ask your pharmacist every time you start or refill a prescription. Does this interact with grapefruit or other foods? They are your first line of defense. Medication-food interactions are one of the most overlooked threats to senior health, and the fix is often as simple as knowing what to avoid. And if this surprised you, wait until you hear about the final fruit on our list, a sweet tropical treat that hides both a sugar overload and the very same enzyme-blocking danger as grapefruit. Fruit number 6, mangoes, the sweet deceiver. Our final fruit is the mango, soft, golden, fragrant, and almost too sweet to resist. It feels like nature's luxury candy, a healthy indulgence you can enjoy guilt-free. But for those over 60, especially if you're managing blood sugar or taking heart medications, mangoes can be far from innocent. Let's start with the obvious danger: sugar. A single cup of ripe mango delivers nearly 23 grams of sugar, more than many desserts. That sugar rush hits your bloodstream fast, triggering inflammation inside your arteries. For anyone with prediabetes or diabetes, already a major stroke risk factor, this sudden glucose spike is like adding fuel to a smoldering fire. But there's a second, lesser-known danger hiding in mangoes, a compound called mangiferin. While it's sometimes touted for its antioxidant benefits, mangiferin can also interfere with the cytochrome P550 enzyme system, the same critical drug processing pathway we just discussed with grapefruit. This means that certain medications, particularly for heart rhythm, blood pressure, or cholesterol, can build up in your system to unsafe levels if you eat mangoes regularly. Case in point, Mr. William Booker. William Booker, 83, a retired firefighter, decided to eat clean by swapping his evening cookies for dried mango slices. He was also on medication for atrial fibrillation. Within weeks, he began waking up dizzy and lightheaded. Then one morning, he collapsed. At the hospital, scans revealed a mild stroke, and blood tests showed his medication levels were far above the therapeutic range, despite him taking the correct dose. The culprit? The concentrated mango in his diet had quietly slowed his liver's ability to break down his medication, allowing it to accumulate to dangerous levels. The brain-saving fix: treat mango like dessert, not a daily fruit. A few bites are fine. Eating the whole fruit or large portions is risky for blood sugar. Avoid dried mango completely. Removing the water turns mango into a sugar concentrate, spiking glucose and magnifying the medication interaction risk. Pair and time it. If you eat mango, have it earlier in the day and alongside protein or healthy fat to slow sugar absorption. Talk to your doctor first if you take prescriptions for heart rhythm, cholesterol, or blood pressure. Even healthy fruits can be dangerous when combined with certain drugs. When it comes to stroke prevention after 60, what you eat matters as much as what you take. And as William Booker learned, sometimes the sweetest fruit hides the most unexpected risks. We've just journeyed through 6 fruits that, while seemingly harmless, bananas, grapes, pineapple, watermelon, citrus, and mangoes, can quietly turn from friends into foes after the age of 60. If you're feeling a bit unsettled, that's perfectly natural. In fact, it means you're already taking the first and most important step: awareness. Recognizing hidden risks is the foundation of protecting your brain, your heart, and ultimately, your independence. This is not a call to fear fruit. Far from it. Fruit remains one of nature's greatest gifts, rich in vitamins, fiber, and antioxidants. But as our bodies age, the rules change. Kidneys filter more slowly. Blood vessels lose elasticity. Medications can interact in ways that magnify even the smallest dietary choices. A fruit that nourished you at 30 can quietly pose a risk at 70, not because the fruit has changed, but because you have. That's why the real key here isn't avoidance, it's wisdom. Shrink your portions instead of cutting fruits out entirely. Shift fruit to earlier in the day when your body processes sugar more efficiently. Pair with protein or healthy fats to slow sugar spikes. And most importantly, talk openly with your doctor or pharmacist about your diet and your prescriptions. This conversation can prevent dangerous interactions long before they start. Your brain health, your heart strength, and the freedom to live life on your own terms are worth guarding with this new level of awareness. If this video has helped you see your plate in a new light, show your support by liking it, sharing it with someone you care about, and joining the discussion below. I truly want to know, which fruit on this list surprised you the most?